यन्माया वशवर्ति विश्वमखिलं ब्रह्मादिदेवासुरा यत्सत्त्वादंशैव भाति सकलं रज्जो यथा हेर्भ्रमः यत्पादप्लवमेकमेव हि भवां बोधे स्थितिर्षावता वन्देऽहं तमशेषकारणपरं रामाख्यमीशं हरिम्। श्रीराम जय जय राम ओम श्रीराम जय जय राम ओम श्रीराम 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 जय राम ओम जय राम ओम जय राम ओम। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Hari Om, everyone. Good to see all of you in person again, and also those who are joining us online. We spent 9 days doing Ramcharitmanas Parayanam. One thought came to my mind while we were chanting. It felt as though Goswamiji was wanting to tell us, this is how Bhagwan Rama looks. If you can see him in the way that I am seeing right now. But you would have noticed, if this is the first time we are doing the Parayanam, then we have to look at the meaning down below the chaupais. Right? By reading the chaupais directly, the meaning doesn't come. So the first pass of our study is only to learn Shabdartha. Shabdartha means what? When we hear the word, meaning should come in mind. But after several iterations, after several rounds, several deeper layers of study, we come to appreciate the Padartha. Padartha means what? The actual thing which is pointed out. If I say ghata, pot, pot is just a word. Or if I say a watch, right? Watch is just a word. But if that word makes me shift my attention to this, then that Shabdartha has led me to Padartha. In the same way, when I say Bhagavan, in the beginning, it is just a word. But our purpose of studying Ramcharitmanas is such that after we study, after we reflect, the word should shift our attention to Padartha. Saguna Rupa of Bhagavan and Nirguna Rupa of Bhagavan, both of it. It was very nice to just chant Balkanda, Dohas also, which we had covered. Today we'll start AyodhyaKand. You might be knowing that Goswamiji has not labeled this Kanda. He has not given the names as Balakanda, AyodhyaKanda, and so on. He has just called them Sapta Sopana. He says this is the lake of Manasarovar, and for us to take a dip in that lake, I have built 4 ghat. 4 conversations are happening. Ghat, what is the English translation for a ghat? Bank, but it has steps. It's a systematic way by which you can get into that water. He says, I have created 4 banks on 4 sides. Pier, okay. Yes, pier. And the 7 steps are to help us get deeper into this lake of Ramcharitmanas. Over there, the analogy he gives is Manasarovar lake. He says these steps will help us take a dip in the Manasarovar lake. But over here, the steps which are there, they are each kanda. So Balakanda was Prathama Sopana. Now is AyodhyaKand, which is Dvitiya Sopana. And what will that Sopana do? It will slowly help us get deeper into Bhagwan Rama's glories. Whenever we have to enter a lake, we don't directly jump into it unless somebody pushes us. Sometimes we have very good friends who want to remove the fear of swimming. Guruji used to share one joke. He said once there was a cat which fell into a well and it was trying to save itself. Everybody was standing around the well and they were just talking. Oh, somebody should go, somebody should save. Nobody was trying to do anything. One person, he jumped inside and in a very strange way, he saved that cat. You couldn't make out whether he was saving the cat or cat was saving him. But anyhow, he came up. So Guru said all village people were there, reporters. They went to him and said, we want to ask you a question. How were you able to be so brave? How did you go and save the cat? He said, first you answer my question. What is your question? So that man said, who is the one who pushed me inside? Not that kind of thing, but we will go in a systematic way. First you dip your toe, then you go a little more deeper. So Prathama Sopana was just to get a glimpse of Bhagwan Rama's nature. That was the first step. Now it is the further journey of a sadhaka. The sopanas are journey of a sadhaka in making. First, it is only a little bit of taste they get. They want to try out. What is this Ramcharitmanas? It builds a new connection with Bhagwan. That is what brings us closer to him. That is the main purpose of this AyodhyaKand. It will bring us closer to what is Bhagwan's Swarupa. Okay, Sopana word, Goswamiji used actually in Balakanda. He said, Sapta Prabandha Subhaga Sopana. I have created 7 Sopanas. Jnana Nayana Nirakhatamana Mana. How do we or how should we see this Sopana? He says Jnana Nayana. Look at them carefully and try to find deeper meanings in each and every chaupai. Jnana Nayana means with Pramana Buddhi. That there is a lot of depth in every word. Try to find that deeper meaning. Jnana Nayana Nirakhatamana Mana. Now the word AyodhyaKand, that is the name of this Kanda. What is Ayodhya? What is Ayodhya? The best definition we find in AyodhyaKand itself. And you know who gives that definition? Sumitraji. Lakshmanji's mother, when he goes to ask permission, can I go with Bhagwan Rama to Vanvasa? Sumitraji defines what is Ayodhya. She says, Avadataha Jaha Rama Nivasu. Ayodhya is that where Bhagwan Rama lives. Meaning what? She is telling Lakshmanji, you are not going on Vanavasa. You are going from one Ayodhya to another Ayodhya. I am the one who will go in Vanavasa. So Ramataha Jaha Avadataha Jaha Rama Nivasu. And then she says, Tahi Divasa Jaha Bhanu Prakasu. Means you say that it is day where there is sun. We don't say it is day because it is day. Right? There where there is sun, there is day. In the same way, there where there is Bhagwan Rama, there is Ayodhya. This is one meaning which is given in AyodhyaKand itself. What is Ayodhya? Now, one of the salient feature of AyodhyaKand also helps us understand the meaning of the word Ayodhya. Yuddha word we know, right? Yuddha means what? War. Applied meaning is conflict. That mind which is devoid of conflicts, he says that is Ayodhya. And how will it come? It will come through devotion, by developing qualities of somebody like Bharatji, who is going to be the main hero in the entire later part of AyodhyaKand. If we want a mind devoid of conflict, we have two options. Both were kings only, but they had different ways of living. One was Duryodhana, another was Bharatji. Duryodhana represents Rajoguna and Tamoguna, and Bharatji represents Sattvaguna. So that is one meaning, that whenever we have doubts, whenever we have conflicts, if mind is in Sattva, there is an inner voice that guides us. That inner voice is called as Antaryami. Antaryami means Bhagwan's voice, which guides us, which helps us take a decision in whatever, yuddha was going on inside. And if that is accomplished, that is one meaning of Ayodhya. And another very important part of AyodhyaKand is there are different pairs of opposites that keep coming in Bhagwan Rama's life. Even in Mangalacharanam, we will see that part. But one moment he said, you will be made the king. And right on the next day, he said, you will be made to go to the forest. So one who is able to remain equanimous in these pairs of opposites, he says that person has won over inner battle. What is the yuddha inside? Dvandva. Sometimes there is joy, sometimes there is sorrow. Sometimes there is honor, sometimes there is dishonor. In Balakanda, Goswamiji pointed out around 20 pairs. Right? He said this entire creation is made up of pairs of opposites. What is our sadhana? His sadhana is to remain equanimous in both these pairs. Or one of the things in this pair, whenever it comes, to remain equanimous, that is the main sadhana, and that is this Ayodhya. There is one text called Dhanyashtakam. Dhanyashtakam, Bhagavan Shankaracharya has composed. Only 8 verses are there. Dhanya means one who is blessed. We say Dhanyavada, right? I feel very blessed that you came out of your way to help me. So there, Bhagavan Shankaracharya points out who is the one who is really blessed. And there he says this one particular shloka, Adau vijitya vishayan madamoharaga dveshadishatruganama hrutayoga rajyaha. Means who is the one who is blessed? The one who has conquered the battle of inner pairs of opposites. Adau vijitya, he has won over vishayan. First battle we have is with sense objects. So first he has won vishayan. Mada means pride is there about accomplishments. Delusion is there. Moha is there. Raga dvesha. Vishayan mada moha raga dveshadi shatruganam ahruta yoga rajya. Those enemies he has conquered. Such a person is blessed. All this is elaboration of what? Ayodhya. Huh? What are the different meanings of Ayodhya? One meaning we saw was a mind which is free from conflict. And before that we saw, there where there is Bhagwan, there it is Ayodhya. Second was mind which is free from conflict. And what we mean by conflict is these pairs of opposites. Different experiences keep coming. Equanimity in that. Now, I know all of you are Vedanta students, right? Little bit of Vedanta is also okay. One meaning of Ayodhya from a Vedantic perspective is that Chaitanya in which there is no creation. If prapancha has been negated, if duality has been negated, there is no chance for yuddha. For yuddha, you need two, right? One party should be here, another should be on the other side. So what is the battle between the rope and the illusory snake? That is another meaning of Ayodhya. There is only one thing. Where is their battle to begin with? This is the culmination of Ayodhya. After we go from the first two meanings, the final culmination of Ayodhya will happen here. And in Awadhi Bhasha, Ayodhya is called as Avadha. Avadha. And there is one verse in Viveka Chudamani that Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Tanni Sheda Vadis Sakshi Bodha Ropo Avashishyate. Means what is this consciousness? It is that where all the limits of negation have been accomplished. Tat Nisheda Avadhi Sakshi. Such a beautiful indicator of Sakshi. That in which you cannot negate anymore. How does negation start? We are seeing in Vedanta Sara, right? Adhyaropa and Apavada. So you start negating the world outside. Come to this body and say, this body is not me. Come to the mind and say, this mind is not me. Like this, when you keep negating and reach a point where you cannot negate anymore, that is Avadha. That is Ayodhya, which is of the nature of Shuddha Chaitanya. Tanni Sheda Avadis Sakshi Bodha Ropo Avashishyate. This is Puja Guruji's one of the favorite quotes. Why I say that? Because I've heard in several discourses. Guruji has not said it, but he quotes this shloka. Tanni Sheda Avadis Sakshi Bodha Ropo Avashishyate. So if you have to meditate upon our true nature, say meditate upon Ayodhya. Meditate upon that Chaitanya where there is no duality and it has reached all limits of negation. Nothing else remains to be negated in that Chaitanya. Okay, so we saw Sopana and we saw what is Ayodhya. Now let us chant the Mangalacharanam Shloka. All of you can repeat after me. Yasyanke cha vibhati bhudhara suta You can repeat a little louder. I've switched the scale to lower one, so all of you can repeat. Yasyanke cha vibhati bhudhara suta Devapagamastake Bhale bala vidhurgale chagaralam Yasyorasivyalat Soyam bhuti vibhushana suravaraha Sarvadhipa sarvada Sharva sarvagata shiva shashinibhaha Shri Shankarav patu maam. Together. Yasyanke cha vibhati bhudhara suta Devapagamastake Bhale bala vidhurgale chagaralam Yasyorasivyalat Soyam bhuti vibhushana suravaraha Sarvadhipa sarvada Sharavas Sarvagata Shiva Shashinivah Shri Shankarah Patu Mam. All these are beautiful verses. We have to reflect on every word. The main essence of this verse is the last line. You see the last three words. Shri Shankarah Patu Mam. May Bhagwan Shankara, Lord Jagdishwara, protect me. Who is my Bhagwan? That elaboration is given in the rest of the shloka. Who is Lord Shiva? It is said in the rest of the shloka. But what is indicated in this entire verse is Bhagwan is the one who has all pairs of opposites in his personality. And the prayer is, Bhagwan, when these pairs of opposites come in my life, please protect my mind from these pairs of opposites. That is the main prayer. An entire AyodhyaKand, you will see that same theme getting repeated. Shri Shankarah Patu Mam, protect my mind from these pairs of opposites. Now you see, what are the pairs of opposites? First line. Yasyanke cha vibhati bhudharasuta devapaga mastake. On one side of Lord Shiva, there is Parvati ji. Yasyanke cha vibhati bhudharasuta. Bhudharasuta means the daughter of mountain. Bhudhara means mountain. Bhudharasuta is daughter of mountain, and that is Parvati ji. Then on his head is Ganga ji. Devapaga mastake. Devapaga means one who has emerged from Devaloka. That is one meaning. Now, what is the pair of opposite over here? There are several, but I'll just mention few of it. One is Parvati ji represents bhakti or karma, Bhudarasutha, and Ganga ji represents jnanam. It looks it is pair of opposite, but actually it is not. But as though they are two different things, but very happily staying in Lord Shiva. No conflicts. Karma or bhakti and jnanam, that is staying without any conflict. And we know Lord Shiva is Adi Guru. Right? So that Ganga ji is Jnana Ganga. Comes all the way from Lord Shiva to the fit disciple and that person who can take a dip in that Ganga ji. Okay, so this is first pair of opposites. Second one is more evident. Look at the second line. Bhale bala vidhur galecha garalam. Bhale bala vidhu means on his forehead he has a crescent moon. Moon represents calmness, soothing. It also represents amrutam, nectar. That is there on his forehead. And come a little below, what is there? Galecha garalam. In his throat, there is poison. On the head, there is nectar. In the throat, there is poison. Head is cool. Poison, won't be cool. It is hot. Yasya urasi vyalarat. Means around his chest, there is a snake. Means in spite of this totally different thing being there in his personality, Bhagwan Shiva is handling it very well. And that poison we have seen in several places, right? So over here also you see, one poison is in his neck, another poison is outside, as in the form of that snake. And none of them is affecting Lord Shiva. So what is the symbolic meaning? One poison is in the form of negative thoughts. That is a garala in his throat. Because mind is inside, those thoughts are there. And another poison is in the form of Vishaya. Vishaya also is called as Visham. From that same root it is there. It binds, but Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, poison hurts only when you take it. But Vishaya hurts even when you look at it. That is the power of Vishaya. But Bhagavan Shiva has the art of not getting affected by external Vishaya and also thoughts in our own mind. Bhale bala vidur galecha garalam yasyo rase vyalarat. Third line, soyam bhuti vibhushana. Now you see another pair of opposite. Who is Lord Shiva? He is such a great, he is Bhagavan. That is why it is said Suravaraha, best among devatas. Sarvadipaha, all powerful, ruler over everybody. And he always has these qualities. Sarvada means that. Somebody can be powerful, but that person is not always powerful. A day comes when somebody says, you have to retire now. Bhagavan is not like that. He is Sarvada Sarvadipaha. But on the other hand, he is wearing vibhuti as his ornament. Saha ayam bhuti vibhushana. What is this vibhuti? He says this vibhuti is his knowledge by which he has negated the world. Bhasma, when we say, right, it symbolizes taking away reality from Nama Rupa. Name and form has been taken away. What is remaining is only the appearance of that thing. So even this bhuti, it becomes vibhuti. It becomes an ornamentation on Lord Shiva. On one hand, he is Lord of the universe. On the other hand, so simple in his appearance. Sharvaha. Sharvaha means one who destroys. What does he destroy? Our sinful tendencies. If somebody becomes devoted to Bhagavan, it is his duty, or Bhagavan makes sure that he stops his devotees from going on the wrong path. Because that antaryami voice becomes more clearer, it becomes louder. And this voice is available to everybody. It is not that antaryami is there only in few people, not in others. But devotees are the one who have quietened their mind so that Bhagavan's voice is heard by them. In that way, he is Sharvaha. And if somebody doesn't hear from inside, he knows how to make us hear from outside. That is his ability as Karma Phaladata. Karma Phaladata means he gives us Karma Phala through experiences, and through that also he can teach a message. So best is listen to him inside. That is the best option. That is why he is Sharvaha. Then Sarvagata. Sarvagata means he is all-pervading. Why is he all-pervading? Because he is Upadana Karanam. Means he is a material cause. Right? Clay is the material cause for the pot. So wherever you touch the pot, you will see clay. See, in Vedanta Sara, it is put in a very technical way. Ajnana Upahita Chaitanya becomes Nimitta Karanam and Upadana Karanam of Srishti. In devotional text, it is put in a sweeter way. That my Lord Shiva is Sarvagata. Just like the wood is all pervading in this harmonium. Why? Because it is material cause. What was the other example we had seen? The dough and the roti. Right? Wherever you see the roti, the dough is there. Why? Because it is material cause. In the same way, Bhagavan is material cause of this creation. That is why he is Sarvagata. Shivaha. Shivaha means he is of the nature of auspiciousness, but he is also pure consciousness. Now you see the difference. On one hand, he is Sharvaha. On the other hand, he is Shivaha. Sharvaha means destroyer. Shivaha means Ananda Swarupa Brahma. Shashi Nibhaha Shri Shankara Patumam. Shashi Nibhaha means one who is always of the nature of calming appearance. Shashi means the moon, and Nibhaha means Niyatam Bhati. Niyatam bhati means always he is of this nature. Shashinibha Shri Shankaraha Patumam. Goswamiji has written one chaupai later in Uttarakanda. He says, Nirguna Rupa Sulabha Ati Saguna Jana Nahi Koi. Because Bhagwan, your Nirguna Rupa is very easy to understand. Why? Because it is very clearly defined in Shastra. But your Saguna Rupa is so difficult because it has all these different pairs of opposites. One hand it is Amrutam, which is there on your forehead. Another side it is Visha, which is there in your throat. So to interpret your Leelas in the right way is very difficult. But what is the prayer in and through all this? When different pairs of opposites come in my life, Bhagwan, give me that calmness to face it and to go through it with strength. Now you see the second Mangalacharanam, continuation of this idea of equanimity. Prasannatayam nagatabhishekatah Prasannatam ya nagatabhishekatah Tatha namamle vanavasa dukkatah Tatha namamle vanavasa dukkatah Mukhambuja Shri Raghunandanasya me Mukhambuja Shri Raghunandanasya me Sadastu Samanjula Mangala Prada Sadastu Samanjula Mangala Prada Prasannatam Yanagatabhishekatah Tatha namamle vanavasa dukkatah Mukhambuja Shri Raghunandanasya me Sadastu Samanjula Mangala Prada. An upasaka who is a devotee of Bhagwan finds different ways to meditate upon Bhagwan. So here Goswamiji is praying to Bhagwan that may your equanimity, which shows on your face, which shows or reflects in your personality, may that equanimity come and bring auspiciousness in my life. Ya Raghunandanasya Mukhambuja Shri Me Manjula Mangala Prada Sada Astu. May that equanimity which is there in Bhagwan Rama's personality, Mukhambuja Shri means on his face there is a glow arising out of knowledge of his own true nature, knowledge of that supreme truth. Out of that, there is a different glow in his personality which reflects this equanimity. May that glow come and bring auspiciousness in my life. Now, what was the incident in which he remained equanimous? That is given in the first line. Prasannatam yana gatabhishekatah. When he was announced, when Dashrath Maharaj announced that he is going to have Rajyabhisheka done, Yuvarajapada is going to be given to Bhagwan Rama, he did not celebrate. On his face, there was no expression of excitement. And on the other hand, right, the next moment, Tathana Mamle Vanavasa Dukkata. Right, next moment when he was said, you have to go to the forest, there was no dejection. There was no frowning on his face. May that face of my Bhagwan Rama come and bring auspiciousness in my life. That is a prayer. Means when these pairs of opposites come, Bhagwan, may I not get stuck in any one of them. Because sometimes when Sukham comes, there is a very great chance of getting stuck there. That is why Ramana Maharshi said, Kruti Mahodadau Patana Karanam, and then Gati Nirodhakam. Gati Nirodhakam mainly goes with Sukham. Karma has lot of power. It can bring lot of Sukham. but it can make us get stuck in that Sukham. On the other hand, Dukkham, if it comes, it can make us go so low sometimes that we can never come up. There we should remember this prayer. Grace of Bhagwan is such, it can help us stay grounded in Sukham, and it can help us come up during Dukkham. That is the whole theme. That's why the Mangalacharanam shlokas are important. AyodhyaKand, this is the main theme. That is why these Mangalacharanam shlokas are being introduced. And on every verse, there is a long commentary by several scholars. Why this Mangalacharanam is. I'm just presenting the essence of that. Okay, but they're very deep, each one. This, if you want to get more elaboration, we should see Sthita Prajna Lakshana in 2nd chapter. How to get this equanimity, Bhagwan elaborates in 18 verses. But over here, only Sanketa Matra. Now see the third one. Neelambujasyamalako-malangam Neelambujasyamalako-malangam Sita Samaropitavamabhagam Sita Samaropitavamabhagam Panau Mahasayakacharuchapam Panau Mahasayakacharuchapam Namami Ramam Raghuvamshanatham Namami Ramam Raghuvamshanatham Neelambujasyamalako-malangam Sita Samaropitavamabhagam Panau Mahasayakacharuchapam Namami Ramam Raghuvamshanatham. 4 quarters are there. See if you can find any theme in all the 4 quarters. First quarter is Neelambujasyamalako-malangam. Who is Bhagwan Rama? He is the one who is as dark, as tender as a blue lotus. Neelambujasyamalako-malangam. This entire chhabi is like that. Second quarter, Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam. One on whose left side adorns Jagannatha, Jagat Janani, Sita ji. Vamabhagam means on the left side. Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam. Panau Mahasayaka Charuchapam. In his hand he has Mahasayaka. Mahasayaka means arrow. Sayaka means an arrow. Mahasayaka means Amoga Bana. Bhagwan has so much confidence, he tells later in Kishkinda Kanda, when Sugriva comes and gets indulgent and then again goes back to Kishkinda and gets indulgent, he tells Lakshmanji, go and tell Sugriva that one Bana is left here, because that it never hits its mark. That is, my Amoga Bana. Panau Mahasayaka Charuchapam, and his bow is there, which is very beautiful. Third quarter. Last quarter is Namami Ramam Raghuvamshanatham. That Bhagwan Rama, who is the great Raghuvamshi, one of the greatest kings in Raghuvamsha, to Bhagwan Rama I bow down. Do you see any theme in these 4 quarters? Goswamiji has covered all 7 kanda of Ramcharitmanas over here. The first quarter is Balakanda, or the first line. Neelambujasyamalako-malangam is Bhagwan's Leela as Shishu. Bala Rupa Bhagwan, that is how he described. Then later in Balakanda was Vivaha Prasanga. So that is where came Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam. So until here was Balakanda. Then started AyodhyaKand. Pano Mahasayaka Charuchapam. So Vanavasi Bhagwan Rama, all the way until Lanka Kanda. Most important part there was his bow and arrow. And then when he comes back to Ayodhya, becomes Raja Rama, That is the last part. Namami Ramam Raghuvamshanatham. So that is Uttarkanda. So Balakanda, AyodhyaKand, all the way until Lanka Kanda, and then Uttarkanda. He just gave us a glimpse of Bhagwan Rama in one shloka. That is Goswamiji's mastery over Leela and words. Now this doha you are familiar with. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raj Nij Manu Mukura Sudhari Baranau Raghuvar Vimal Jasu Jodaya Kupal Chari. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raj Nij Manu Mukura Sudhari Baranau Raghuvar Vimal Jasu Jodaya Kupal Chari. Where have you seen this doha? Hanuman Chalisa. But to see the beauty over here, Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja. Means what does Goswamiji say? I take the dust of my Guru's feet, and from that I make a paste, from that dust of the feet that I have gained. And with that I am cleaning the mirror of my mind. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nija Manu Mukura Sudhari. Nija Manu, one's own mind, whatever impurities are there, that I am removing with the help of this dust of the feet of my teacher. Then after that, what do? With that pure mind, I am going to start elaborating the glories of Raghubara. Baranau Raghubara Bimala Jasu. Over here, Raghubara means who? Raghubara means one is Bhagwan Rama, but AyodhyaKand is also about Bharatji. So Raghubara means Bhagwan Rama and Bharatji. But just now you said this doha also comes in Hanuman Chalisa. So who will Raghubara refer to there? Hanumanji. So Puja Guruji has given a beautiful introduction to who is Raghubara. He said one who has divine qualities, that person is Raghubara. So Hanumanji becomes Raghubara, Bharatji becomes Raghubara, Bhagwan Rama also becomes Raghubara. But he says only one who has that pure mind, only that mind can do justice to composing a text like Ramcharitmanas. Meaning what? To sing Bhagwan's glory, the qualification which is needed is pure mind. For us as sadhaka, by studying text like Ramcharitmanas, we will get a pure mind. That is the beauty of these compositions. Baranau Raghuvara Bimala Jasu Jodayaku Phalachari. Now this first line, taking the dust of the feet of the teacher and trying to clean our mind, it looks a very metaphorical way of saying. So what does dust of the feet represent? You must have seen in several places, even Goswami starts Ramcharitmanas in the same way. He says, I take the dust of the feet of my teacher, I make a colorium. How do you say that? Colorium, right? Colorium, some paste. And that I apply to my eyes, by which I can see deeper insights in glories of Bhagwan Ram. So what is this Charana Raja? There could be several ways to look at it. The way I understood that was, it is an instruction from the teacher which is born out of their experience and knowledge. Charana represents knowledge. That is why we do Pada Puja of Guru. Charana Raja is representing that wisdom, because Raja cannot come if you are just sitting in one place. You have to travel, you have to go through many places. Then the feet, they have that Raja, which students can benefit from. What does that Raja represent? The instructions which are coming from the teacher, born out of their experience and wisdom, which they themselves have walked. Like in Upadesha Sara, Ramana Maharshi tells us one should do japa. Now, it is not just casual instruction. It is something that Bhagavan has seen it for himself, and then he is guiding for students. That is this Charana Raja. Through that, we can purify our mind. In Vedanta Sara, what did we see? Nitya Naimitika Karma, Buddhi Shuddhi Parama Prayojanam. Now, injunction from the teacher is, we should do Nitya Karma, we should do Naimitika Karma, Upasana we should do, Prayashchitta we should do. Means our daily duties, do it with a spirit of Karma Yoga. Now, that is the instruction. Through that Charana Raja, we have to come and purify our mind. Both layers we should appreciate. One is the poetic meaning of it, but that word should open up also. Right? What is Charana Raja coming from? Let us sing the first Chaupai. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram, 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 Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. जब ते राम ब्याहि घर आए, नित नूतन नित नव मंगल मोद बधाई, भुवन चारि दस भूधर भारी, सुकृत मेघ बरषहि सुख भारी, रिधि सिधि संपत्ति नदी सुहाई, उमगी अवध अम्बुधि कहुआई, मणिगण पुर नर नारी सुजाते, सुचि अमूल सुंदर सब भांति, कहीं न जाई कछु नगर विभूति, जनु इतनिय बिरंचि कर तूति, सब सिद्धि सब पुर लोग सुखारी, रामचंद्र मुख चंदु निहारी, मुदित मातु सब सखी सहेली, फलित बिलोकि मनोरथ बेली, राम रूप गुणशील सुभाऊ, प्रमुदित होई देखि सुनि राऊ, सबके उराभिलाषु वस, कहीं मनाई महेशु, आप अछत जुबराज पद, राम ही देव नरेशु, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. When you build a step, the first step has to be connected to the second step. First step cannot be here, second step cannot be here. So turn back your page and look at the third Chaupai after 360 of Balakanda. After 360, look at the third Chaupai. Aaye byahi Ramu ghara jabate. And see where Goswamiji starts over here. Jabate Ramu byahi ghara aaye. He's starting from the point where he left. He said, after Bhagwan came back to Ayodhya, this is what happened. What happened? Every day there was something auspicious. There was something new to look forward to. Lot of happiness in Ayodhya. Now Goswamiji is a master in describing with metaphors and analogies. See how he describes the joy in Ayodhya. Bhuvana chari dasa bhudara bhari, sukruta mega barashahi sukha bhari. Who had done punya to get all these things? So main punya was done by Dashrath Maharaj and Kausalya ji, because of whom Bhagwan Rama took avatar. But now all the 14 worlds, they are like mountains. They are like mountains. And the punya karma done by Dashrath Maharaj, it is like the cloud. And that cloud is showering the rain of Sukham. Bhuvana chari dasa bhudara bhari, sukruta mega barashahi sukha bhari. Meaning what? This is the greatness of Santa Mahatmas. One person did punya, For that person, rain has to come, but entire 14 world is enjoying that punya karma, right? Because rain cannot fall only on that one person. So like that is this Ayodhya Nagari. All 14 worlds, he has not come to Ayodhya. He's saying all 14 worlds are like the mountains. The punya karma is the cloud, and rain of Sukham is falling on these mountains. Then when rain falls on the mountain top, it forms rivers. What is that river? Riddhi Siddhi Sampati Nadi Suhai. All prosperity which is there, that has come down flowing as this river from that mountain. Umagi Avada Ambudhi Kaha Ai. Where did all of that come and culminate? It culminated in the ocean, which is this Ayodhya Nagari. The rain of Sukham, along with Sukha, Riddhi, Siddhi, all kinds of prosperities, it came and culminated in ocean. Now, you know, in ocean, there are gems. Different jewels are there. Now, what are the jewels and gems in Ayodhya? He says, Ayodhya Vasis, they are these gems and jewels. Manigana Puranara Nari Sujati. All different people who are there in Ayodhya, they are like those gems which you find in that ocean. What is the quality? Every gem I heard has a quality, right? Unique quality. He says some of them, I mean, all of them have all of them, but these are the qualities of those gems. Suchi Amola Sundara Sababhati. One is they're very pure, pure-hearted, and it is so difficult to find this quality. That is why Amola. Amola means very precious. Suchi Amola Sundara, very beautiful in all ways. Sababhati. Kahaina Jai Kachu Nagara Vibhuti Janu Etiniya Biranchi Karatuti. This Ayodhya Nagari, when Bhagwan came back, Goswamiji said, I cannot describe it. It looked as though Brahmaji has exhausted all his creativity. You know, there is nothing more that Brahmaji could do. Or another way to look at it is, this was something which was not part of Brahmaji's creation. And so when Bhagwan lives, even when he takes avatar, Ayodhya became Saketa Loka. That is how this entire Ayodhya Nagari was. Sababidi Sabapura Loga Sukhari, Ramachanda Mukha Chandu Nihari. But you just now said all these Ayodhya Vasis were there, they were very happy, so much of prosperity was there. So were they happy because of prosperity? I say no. Their happiness came from Bhagwan Rama. You see that line? Rama Chandamukha Chandu Nihari. Their happiness came from Bhagwan. In that joy, in that happiness, all other prosperities included. This is one thing to keep in mind. Whenever we say Sakama Karma and Nishkama Karma. Right? Sakama Karma means what? Actions done with some desire. Actions done with some very strong desire that this is what I want. Nishkama Karma, actions done without any insistence, just for devotion to Bhagavan. Now we should remember, prosperity is there in both. It is not that in Sakama there is prosperity and in Nishkama there is no prosperity and the sadhaka again has to do something else. We say no. Then it is, loss for a karma yogi. Nobody will want to do karma yoga. He says in that second one, prosperity is also included minus bondage. In the first one, there is prosperity plus bondage. Second one, there is prosperity minus bondage. Those are these Ayodhya Vasis. That's why Riddhi Siddhi is also there. Sukha Sampati is there. But because attention is on Bhagavan, there is no bondage. Rama Chandu Mukha Chandanihari. Mudita Matu Saba Sakhi Saheli, Phalita Biloki Manoratha Beli. All mothers, they are so happy and delighted to see Bhagwan and this entire atmosphere there. And whatever desires they had, everything as though has come true. Phalita Biloki Manoratha Beli. The creeper, which is there, even the plants, you see, sometimes they get those flowers. It looks so nice when they sprout. Right? Like that, different desires which were there, they have sprouted, auspicious desires, and they have fulfilled all of them. Rama Rupa Guna Siilu Subhavu Pramudita Hoi Dekhi Suni Ravu. Dashrath Maharaj is feeling happy looking at Bhagwan Rama because he has all the qualities now of becoming Yuvaraja. So this line is for that. He has Rupa, Guna, Sila, and Subhava. Means whatever a king should have, all those qualities he is having in himself. So in his mind, he has started planning the next phase now. It's a very beautiful transition into that. Sabake ura abhilashu asa kahai manai mahesu. All Ayodhya Vasis, they had this desire in their heart. What was that desire? That Bhagwan Rama should become Yuvaraja. But why did they not say it loudly? Because they loved Dashrath Maharaj also. It doesn't look nice if they went to him and said, we want Bhagwan Rama to become Yuvaraja. That's why everybody kept it in their heart. Sabake ura abhilashu asa kahai manai mahesu. They were praying to Bhagwan Shiva that may this desire be fulfilled. Apa achata jubaraja pada Rama hi devu naresu. Means what? While Dashrath Maharaj is living, at that time alone, he should make Bhagwan Rama as Yuvaraja. Not the king directly. Yuvaraja means what? The next person who is appointed to be the king. And that Yuvaraja would take care of day-to-day administration of the kingdom. Means all the running around Yuvaraja would do. Raja is only Sannidhi Matra. He will just be there and he will train Yuvaraja to take on his role. And this part you see in all stories of Purana. Which part? When the king says, now I have done my part, I have to go to the forest and seek the real goal of life. Later the Chaupai will come. Dashrath Maharaj gets a message. How he gets a message, that we will see later. Okay, it's a very beautiful way in which he gets a message that purpose of life is not kingdom. Purpose of life is to abide in our own true nature. Kingdom was a means for that. And by this time, it has served its purpose very well. Now you can very happily move on to the next step. Right? Means in no place we should get stuck. Right? If there is a student who says, I really like my 12th grade syllabus. I like it so much that I don't want to graduate. What will we say? No matter how much you like it, the purpose of coming to 12th grade was not to stay there. Even if you like that subject, you can go deeper in it, but in a different way. So this is our Shastriya Darshan. Bhagwan Shankaracharya wrote elaborate bhashya in Bhagavad Gita talking about Pravritti Dharma and Nivritti Dharma. What is Pravritti Dharma? Wherever Bhagwan has placed us in our life, doing that duty with Karma Yoga Buddhi. Making sure that we don't get stuck anywhere. No karma should bind us. And what is the result of Pravritti? If somebody has done it very well, then there will be a desire for knowledge. That will take us towards Nivritti. Nivritti doesn't mean sitting idle. Nivritti means investing time in Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Majority time. We cannot invest all our time. But once that interest changes, then we say, for the same sadhaka, same scriptures come and say, now is the time to focus more on Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. That message Dashrath Maharaj will get now. How he will get, that we will see in the next session. We'll do our Nama Sankirtanam. Can turn this on. अगणित गुणगण भूषण रामा आश्रित वत्सल जय जय रामा अयोध्यवासी सीतारामा आपद बांधव जय जय रामा दशरथ नंदन श्री रामा दशमुख मर्दन जय जय रामा कौसल्या सुखवर्धन रामा कामित फलदा जय जय रामा पाप विमोचन श्री रामा पट्टाभिरामा जय जय रामा जानकी वल्लभ सीता रामा जय रघुरामा जय सीता रामा वानर सेवित श्री रामा वारिधि बंधन जय जय रामा हनुमत पूजित सीता रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा रघुपति राघव राजा रामा पतित पावन सीता रामा श्री राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय रामा सियावर रामचंद्र की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Tomorrow morning we'll continue with Vedanta Sara. Many of you asked me that in between you had missed joining the sessions. Is it okay to join back? So tomorrow I will recap whatever we have covered so far. Okay, we'll spend some time. So it's a good time to jump back. 3 weeks break, so we need that recap also. Brief recap, don't expect it to be very detailed, but it's a good time to join back. Hari Om.